Different parts in the.
So is that your plan, to make it a ball shape?
I mean, I don't want it to be too rounded, if that makes sense. So it doesn't look like a garden shrub. So you still have that, bonsai
foliage pads.
That was one of my ideas, and another one was like reduce it really dramatically. And but I quite like the shape of it.
Okay.
As it is, but just would like to improve on it. And
so the first thing we need to do is to determine the front and the back of a tree, because every tree has a viewing side and a non-viewing side. So we call it the front and the back. If you look at most bonsai, even this one, this is the obvious front, it's quite open. This is the back. So, and the way the roots go into the soil also determines the front and the back of the tree. So if you look at this tree, can you tell me what would make a better front?
I think it's front here, because you can see the root there on the bottom pointing that way. So if you see there, and I suppose you can also see that on the yellow one or the opposite.
This way, perhaps, just with the direction of the trunk.
Yeah, I'm thinking kind of leaning here, and then it does have a little bit bent.
What we should do, if you remember my YouTube videos, let's scrape the surface soil and see how the roots go into the soil. Don't worry about leaning back. You can always tilt it to make it lean forward.
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
But I do like it somewhere around here.
Yeah, where we cut that root.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so it's got a nice lean going that way. One of the basic principles of creating a bonsai is that you need to show the trunk. What distinguishes a shrub from a tree is the trunk. A shrub is just a round bush, you don't see the trunk, but a tree you see the trunk. So the trick is to reveal the trunk. I don't like to use this analogy about women's legs, in the old days we used to say it's like showing leg. It's a bit of a rude thing. Showing leg.
Good man's legs.
So it's showing leg. So we're showing the leg. The leg is very important. So this is the leg. So once you show the leg, it begins to look like a tree. So we're showing the trunk. We don't want to make it look too bushy. Anything hanging down, I think we can take off. So this is hanging down. I would take that off, so that it shows the trunk a little more. Because it's very bushy, I want to show layers. You were asking to show layers, okay? So we will try and create layers in this tree. Also, I think, where next can I cut? I want to cut judiciously without scalping it. Okay, I took that off. Not much difference here, isn't it? I haven't made much difference. I've just done a very subtle cut. Still, I've thinned it out, but I haven't scalped it. So it's just by selective pruning, I'm going to get quite a nice effect. Okay, this one probably I can take out. Method of elimination. Object is to start showing the trunk. I've thinned it. You see how it's thinned a little bit now? You still happy with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Getting nervous now.
No, not at all. Actually, like I couldn't wait to actually finish it out. Yeah. But I just didn't want to do it myself.
No.
I thought it's got.
This is perfect.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll take that tree. This lovely tree. Lovely
really
tree.
Full.
Now this is a bit dense over there. Take that one. It still hasn't changed the tree much, okay? It's still, you're seeing nice layers between branches. Where else do you think is dense? This side, that side? This side, okay?
Yeah.
Alright, this is a bit dense, so let's deal with this side. Maybe this upward pointing one, if I take one out, I haven't made much difference. It's made some difference, but not much difference. Okay, over here, this branch is okay. Now, do you remember in some of my YouTube videos, I talk about the bag trick? Huh? That means if you use a white plastic bag to cover the view, so before you cut it, if you just cover it with a bag, you will then be able to judge whether you need that or not. Supposing I want to decide whether or not to cut that or not, I will just cover this to see what the effect is. See, without cutting. You see?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a very nice trick to remember. So, by cutting it, does it make it better? It's like going to the opticians, you know, with or without.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right, we decided.
Brave now, isn't it?
Okay.
Ooh, it's a big cut.
It's a big cut.
Let's get rid of the ponytail.
So now we're beginning to see the trunk more. These we don't want. Let's go to a nice branch there. The conical shape is quite important because pines are conical trees, are conifers. So the conical shape is ideal for a pine. Although not all trees have to be conical, like the maples don't have to be conical. Do I need this?
Not really.
Yeah. So it really is a method of elimination. I'm beginning to see the trunk much more. It's beginning to look more like a tree because of the trunk. But because that's the natural habit, I don't want to do this sort of effect. It won't come out like that effect. The mugos are very prolific in producing new shoots, so don't worry about them not producing. They will produce. In fact, it will bud back over here as well. So I've introduced some space now. Very delicate space is being created there. So you can see the layers between it, which is one thing you want to do. Creating space. Can you see that space I created over there? So I created space by cutting it. So this is one instance where probably just by pruning, I'm going to get a very nice bonsai. Okay, I've created space there as well. Can you see? That space is created there. So it's not just a bush. It's no longer a round ball. So okay, at the back that is a bit dense there.
Yeah.
Everything pointing. Oh, that's good. A lot there. I hope you won't be disappointed that we're not doing any wiring, but it doesn't need it. We might end up just doing a little bit of wiring. This is one case where just by pruning we will achieve the ends. As I said, the use of wire was only introduced less than 100 years ago. Before that, we didn't use wire. So already it looks quite different from what it started. It's getting more of a conical shape rather than a round ball. You can see through the tree. The danger is a lot of people who are starting off, they don't know when to stop. You got to know at some point you got to stop doing it. You get carried away, you keep cutting, you end up with nothing. So still a bit dense. See where it is dense, I'm going in there and taking that bit out. Also some of these needles, a lot of the times you can remove some of these needles. Just leave the tops at the end. Now, this branch is quite an important branch to my mind. I don't think that could be cut off. Can you see what I'm saying?
It creates like empty space, like a gap rather than a...
So this is where, again, that back trick is helpful. That would make too much of a gap. This is more natural looking.
How much do you take from the top? Because it seems dense at the very top.
That very top, yeah. Okay. So I've got spaces here, I've got spaces there. Now, even this one, I've got to think, if I take that one out, it may spoil the conical shape. Can you see?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
It spoils the conical shape.
Yeah.
So I will leave that. I will leave it. I can tin it a little bit, which I've done before. But I won't remove it completely. So this again is very dense as we come into that. So I'm taking all these upward going branches to create a space. This is also taking someone to create a space here.
It's definitely going to the hairdressers.
Yep.
Even taking that out, I don't know, maybe okay.
Maybe the one behind.
This one?
Yeah. See, it's still, yeah, that one. Maybe not the whole thing, but...
Pin it, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thick bit there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Better.
And although there's sealant which you can use, with pines you don't need to put a sealant because the pines exude a resin. It's very sticky, so that is like a sap. So that heals itself. So you don't need to waste money in buying sealant for pines. So now that I would say is as much as you need to do. And now, if you want to grow it in a training pot, the first pot should be a comfortable size. Now that is a bit too long for that tree. Get another pot, just bear with me. Oh, no, these are not standard plastic pots. That may be the right size.
How do you decide? Is it within the
Yeah, usually the length
branches
of the pot, the longest dimension is about roughly 2/3 the height of the tree.
Ah, right.
A lot of it is by look. Now that is clearly too small.
Yeah,
That's too small. This one makes it look maybe a bit too long.
Yeah.
Okay, the proportion, something in your mind will tell you it is not quite right.
Too fast, that's kind of almost following Fibonacci.
Yeah, that's right. And that feels right.
Yeah.
So a lot of it, you have to try it. It's like I always say to people when they come to buy a pot, they say they're buying it for a particular tree. So I ask them, why haven't you brought the tree with you? It's like going to buy shoes. When you go to buy shoes, you try the shoes on, don't you? So same with the pot that you choose for a tree. It should always be matched to the pot that you're going to use. Otherwise, it's very hard to imagine in your mind how it would suit. Now, I said we won't go deeper than that, so I won't do that. What you must never do is remove all the soil. Some people get carried away, they remove every grain of soil off the tree and the roots are just dangling. So I'm going to keep the root ball there. I'm going to remove the root from the bottom, or the soil from the bottom, so that it sits in the pot comfortably. So I'm starting from the bottom and working my way up. This is a lovely compost. As I say, most nursery trees, they use this mixture of bark and peat, which is a very rich soil. But you got to feed it a lot because the nutrients leach away, so that's no difficulty. You see, I haven't cut any root yet, huh? Have you seen? I've just removed soil, not cut root. So I'm not stressing the tree one bit. And even in this soil, they put these bits of pumice to open it, to increase the drainage. So that's very good practice. So this is a very good compost that they've used. Okay, I haven't said about marking the front, but when you're making a bonsai, a lot of people advise you to put a marker. That means if you want to remember which is the front or which is the back, you just put a piece of wire like this. This was the front, so you put a piece of wire there. So that reminds you that this is the front, huh? When you come to potting it up. So that's what we do. So let's see how much more soil. Okay, it's a bit wide, so we take some from the front and some from the back. Nice peaty soil, lovely soil. Almost in, just a little more, and we'll be there. I still haven't cut any root. No. And that slight lean is quite nice, huh? And because it's leaning that way, I'm going to push the tree more to this side. You like it leaning, yes? It's got nice balance, in fact, leaning balance. So that is the tree, not bad. And what I will do now, I'll just put a piece of wire to tie the tree in. A lot of the commercial trees that you buy, like these Chinese elms and pepper tree or whatever, they don't bother to tie the tree in because they mass produce them. And once the soil and the tree's roots have meshed together, they don't bother, you know, the tree won't come out. So the reason why we tie it is that when the tree is getting itself established, there's no danger of it being yanked out accidentally. So that's the only reason for tying it. And I still reckon when we started doing bonsai in the 60s and 70s, no one ever tied the tree. It wasn't the done thing, but nowadays people do tie it in. It's a better practice. It's safer for the tree. Okay, so we still get it in slightly to the right this way. Make sure the roots are radial. That means spreading outwards. We don't want the roots to go round and round. And also one there. So that's what we do. Tie it in. Still use the same soil. There's no reason why I shouldn't. So as you can see, I have not cut any root at all. this to my mind is similar to that one where we didn't have to wire at all. This is one of those trees that lent itself to this type of treatment. That other milgo you would have to wire. So for your wiring practice, I suggest you work one of those trees. As I say, you don't have to buy it, you just practice on it. And then you can finish it off. I'll show you how we put some moss on the surface. So that's the best I could do with this tree. So it looks a very natural, mature tree. If I scalped it just to the bare trunk, it would become too bare. If you want to, you can wire it a little bit. I don't think you need to. So let it grow. As it grows more dense, you can then decide how much to thin. So that style suits the tree in that situation. Okay, so I hope you like that. Huh?
That's great, thank you.
Okay, this is Rafa. Say something about it, Rafa. So this was garden center tree.
Yes,
so,
yeah, from garden tree, from garden center.
So we've got the before picture. This tree we have only done selective pruning to introduce layers into the branches, and in just like a couple of hours, not even a couple of hours, we've thinned the tree considerably, and we've just opened it up with a few bits of wire. So this is a very natural style. We haven't attempted to do a classic S shape or anything, but we just opened it out so that it looks natural. So this is something which is very pleasing. And are you happy with it?
Very happy.
Okay,
thank you so much.